Hello everyone. So today we have a video on regulation of fatty acid synthesis. Before that, this video is in continuation with the fatty acid synthesis. So after fatty acid synthesis we have seen, then we come to the regulation. How this fatty acid synthesis is regulated. This fat synthesis, the lipogenesis, is how it is regulated. So this video shows the regulation of fatty acid synthesis. So before first slide we have about the fatty acid synthesis. This is the complete pathway of synthesis of fatty acid. In there, this from 3.1 to 3.6, all these reactions are by enzyme complex, fatty acyl enzyme complex reactions. Only the this second one, that is because of this acetyl coenzyme carboxylase enzyme. The first step in the fatty acid synthesis is the migration of this acetyl coenzyme A. It is transferred from mitochondria to cytosol, because fatty acid breakdown, that is beta oxidation, occurs in mitochondria, whereas this fatty acid synthesis, it occurs in cytosol. So the first reaction is the transport of acetyl coenzyme A to the cytosol. Then secondly, this acetyl coenzyme A synthesizes malonyl coenzyme A in presence of an enzyme that is known as acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase. And rest all these reactions are by enzyme complex. So this complete fatty acid synthesis is regulated by this acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase enzyme. This enzyme is a rate limiting enzyme. So or you can say this step is rate limiting step. So if this steps occurs, then fatty acid synthesis will occur, otherwise not. So we have now come and see how this acyl coenzyme A carboxylase enzyme is regulated or controlled. Now we see this acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase enzyme. It is regulated by three processes. The first one is allosteric inhibition, which is positive inhibition by citrate. Positive regulation by citrate allosterically. Then the second, the palmitoyl coenzyme A inhibits by feedback inhibition of this acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase enzyme. Then the third is covalent modification because of this hormonal regulation of glucagon and epinephrine to this acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase. And the fourth one is induction and repression of enzyme. So in that we will see about the synthesis, how gene expression, level of gene expression is regulated, that is induction and repression. So in this way it is regulated by the four processes. So we will discuss here about the three processes, that is allosteric, feedback, and covalent, and a little bit about the induction and repression. Now first, how it is regulated. When the cell has more than enough metabolic fuel to meet its energy need, then excess is generally converted into fatty acid and are stored in Tg. So when acetyl coenzyme A is not needed to run TCA cycle to produce energy, then already if the fuel is there, then this acetyl coenzyme A will be converted into fatty acid, and then it will be stored as Tg in adipose tissue. So now the reaction that is catalyzed by acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase, I told you that it is rate limiting step. So this is the step which decides that the biosynthesis of fatty acid will occur or it will be regulated. So the carboxylase enzyme is regulated by three mechanisms. We have seen that allosteric, feedback, covalent, and induction repression. Now number one, that is allosteric mechanism. Acetyl coenzyme carboxylase is allosterically activated, या is an active polymer. So it is allosterically regulate the de novo synthesis of fatty acid. How it is that this enzyme is activated by citrate, which is an allosteric activator, as citrate promotes the polymer formation, hence it increases the synthesis of fatty acid. Then when the concentration of mitochondrial acetyl coenzyme A, this mitochondrial acetyl coenzyme A, when it increases, even the ATP increases, this citrate is then transported out of mitochondria, that is to the cytosol, and it is the precursor for the formation of cytosolic acetyl coenzyme A. So when a TCA cycle is running, it has enough substrate, then this citrate is transported outside the mitochondria to the cytosol. In cytosol, it synthesizes acetyl coenzyme A. This acetyl coenzyme A is the activator for acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase enzyme. It also converts inactive this enzyme into active. It converts the activation of this enzyme. Then this acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase, it is inhibited by this malonyl and palmitoyl coenzyme A. It is inhibited by these two substances, that is malonyl coenzyme A and palmitoyl coenzyme A, because this depolymerization of this enzyme, because they causes depolymerization of this enzyme and hence inhibits fatty acid synthesis. These two substances, they show negative feedback inhibition. That's why this is also a feedback inhibition. It is an example of feedback inhibition. So if more and more malonyl coenzyme A will produce, that will convert into palmitoyl coenzyme A, and this palmitoyl coenzyme A will ultimately regulate acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase. That is, this enzyme is responsible for what? For the synthesis of acetyl coenzyme A into malonyl coenzyme A. So this step will be regulated by feedback inhibition when increase in this palmitoyl coenzyme A takes place. So palmitoyl coenzyme A inhibits the mitochondrial tricarboxylate transport. So when there is increase in this palmitoyl coenzyme A, then the diffusion of, you can say transport of this citrate from mitochondria is inhibited. Then next comes after the feedback, covalent modification. So in covalent modification, it is regulated by hormones. There are different hormones which regulate the activity of this acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase by two mechanisms, that is by dephosphorylation, that is active form, and by phosphorylation, that is inactive form. So insulin activates the enzyme by cyclic AMP dependent dephosphorylation. This promotes the fatty acid synthesis. So glucagon and epinephrine, they inhibit the fatty acid synthesis because they phosphorylize the cyclic AMP pathway, and in this way it stops fatty acid synthesis, whereas insulin, it activates fatty acid synthesis. It stimulates the uptake of glucose from adipocytes and conversion of pyruvate to acetyl coenzyme A. And in this way pyruvate is converted to acetyl coenzyme A. And this acetyl coenzyme A will form more and more malonyl coenzyme A, and more fatty acid synthesis will take place. It also increases the activity of pyruvate dehydrogenase, insulin. Insulin activates the activity of pyruvate dehydrogenase, so more and more acetyl coenzyme A production. Increase the activity of acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase, which is responsible for the conversion of acetyl into malonyl, and glycerol 3-phosphate acyl transfer. So more and more glycerol is transported. It depresses the activity of hormone sensitive lipase. So it reduces the activity of hormone sensitive lipase. Now hormones such as, about the insulin we have seen. Now the hormones such as epinephrine, norepinephrine or glucagon inactivate the enzyme by cyclic AMP pathway, that is cyclic AMP dependent phosphorylation. So it inhibits acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase. So these hormones are lipolytic hormones, and insulin is lipogenic hormone. So now we see epinephrine, norepinephrine, glucagon, ACTH, TSH, growth hormone, vasopressin, all this increases increases the adenylate cyclase enzyme. This adenylate cyclase, it converts ATP into cyclic AMP, and this cyclic AMP then converts active protein kinase. It converts inactive protein kinase into active protein kinase. This active protein kinase, it actives hormone sensitive lipase. So this hormone sensitive lipase, it converts triacyl glycerol into glycerol and fatty acid. So in this way it regulates this. So these hormones, they positively regulate and they convert triacyl glycerol into glycerol, whereas insulin is negatively controlled. So it converts inactive protein kinase and inactivates hormone sensitive lipase. So insulin reduces the activity of this lipase, and so the conversion of triacyl glycerol into glycerol is not taking place. Whereas cyclic AMP, it converts phosphodiesterase enzyme. So insulin stimulates phosphodiesterase enzyme activity, whereas methylxanthine, theophylline, caffeine, these all are reduces or inhibits the activity of phosphodiesterase, and in this way lipolysis is regulated. Now induction and repressor. Induction and repressor, what are that I will tell you. That in addition to moment by moment regulation of enzymatic activity, these pathways are somehow regulated by gene expression, by induction and repressor. This involves the changes in the synthesis and degradation of enzyme of fatty acid biosynthesis within the cell by changes in gene expression. So the production of enzyme required in the fatty acid synthesis is stimulated in the liver when glucose is fed. So when high carbohydrate diet is there, then liver enzymes are stimulated, and when diabetes mellitus or starvation is there, they are inhibited. So these are the liver enzymes which are activated and which are repressed by in this method. Acetyl coenzyme carboxylase, fatty acid synthase, citrate lyase, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, and malic enzymes. These all enzymes are stimulated by high carbohydrate diet and protein diet, whereas in starvation they are inhibited. So in this way our regulation is complete. So thank you very much. So before this, if you watch a video about the synthesis of fatty acid, then that will help you to understand this topic. So thank you very much, and if you like my videos, please do subscribe so that you can get the notifications for the next videos. Thank you very much.